Have you ever heard of a town putting its own soul on trial? It sounds like something out of a horror movie, but it actually happened. We all know about the Salem witch trials of 1692, a dark chapter of mass hysteria where 19 innocent people were hanged. But what happened asterisk after asterisk, the madness ended. That's where the story gets truly fascinating. Imagine the silence that fell over Salem village when the accusations stopped. The gallows were empty, but the air was thick with guilt. The very ground seemed stained by the injustice. The community wasn't just left with grief. They were left with a profound, soul-crushing shame. How could they have let this happen? How could neighbors have sent neighbors to their deaths based on spectral evidence and teenage fantasies? This is where Salem's story diverges from so many others. They didn't just try to forget, they sought forgiveness. In 1697, 5 years after the trials, the colony held a public day of fasting and prayer to atone for the tragedy. Judge Samuel Sewell, one of the main magistrates, stood before his church congregation, head bowed in shame, while his public apology was read aloud. He took full blame for his role in the bloodshed, a powerful act of personal responsibility. But it didn't stop. In 1706, Ann Putnam Jr., one of the most prolific accusers, stood before her own church. She was just a young girl during the trials, but now as a young woman, she confessed that she had been deluded by Satan into accusing innocent people. She begged for forgiveness from both God and the families of those she had wronged. Even Tehuri, the 12 men who had handed down the guilty verdicts, signed a public apology. They admitted they were sadly deluded and mistaken, asking for forgiveness from everyone. These documents are incredibly rare. It's a town on record admitting its own catastrophic failure. It was a legal and spiritual attempt to execute the soil of its own guilt, to cleanse a community haunted by the ghosts of its own creation. Salem's story isn't just about the horror of the witch trials. It's about the difficult, painful, and necessary journey toward repentance. Thanks for watching. If you found this piece of history as compelling as I did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories that you might not have heard before. See you next time.